What's going on, y'all? My name's Collier. Welcome to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you a free synth VST that no one is talking about that you can use to make Travis Scott type melodies similar to the ones on Utopia. Then I'm going to do a breakdown of a sample I made using only sounds from this plugin, just to show you how fire it is. If you stick around to the end, I got a special bonus for you. Let's get it. So by now, you're probably thinking I'm talking about OBXA, Podolsky, Xenology, or Squadle. If that's what you're thinking, you're actually wrong. That's not it. While these are all fire, free synth plugins, these aren't the ones I'm talking about. The VST I'm talking about is a little gem called Micro. It's been around for a little while, but I have never heard a producer talk about it in any one of their videos. That's why I decided to make this one, just to give it the credit it deserves. This plugin is real easy to download. Link is in the description. This plugin has basses, synths, leads, plucks, and even some weird sounds. It comes with just over 20 presets, but they are all mostly fire. Here's a few melodies that I made just so you can hear how the presets sound. I added a little bit of effects just so you can really catch the vibe. If you think Travis Scott will use these samples, drop a comment below. If you liked any of those loops, they all came from my Micro pack. It comes with 10 loops, stems and MIDI included, 100% royalty free, no additional clearance or payment required. And since you stayed with me this long, I'm gonna give it to you absolutely free. The link is in the description. If you're a producer and you want more sample packs like this, check out theloopsource.com. Every pack has a free version and comes with MIDI and stems, key and BPM labeled. Every sample is 100% royalty free, all original compositions. No additional clearance is ever needed. This is the loop I'm going to be doing a breakdown of. Just a reminder, all the sounds came from Micro. If you want to hear the full sample, I'll play it as the outro of this video. On to the sample breakdown. For this sample, I'm working in 140 BPM. The first preset that I'm using for the main melody is called Omnichord DR. This is probably like my favorite preset from Micro. It has a dreamy nighttime kind of vibe, so you can use it in so many different ways. All right, here's the melody for the main sample. I know it looks super complex, but it really is just a bunch of simple ideas put together. First, I'm going to play it, then I'm going to show you how I made it. Now, this technique I'm about to show you works well with so many different melodies. So here I'm going to start with the C minor chord. I'm going to copy it 1 octave up, and then I'm going to shift the notes around and see what sounds good. I'm not going for anything complex. I just want something kind of repetitive so it'll kind of get stuck in your head when you listen to it. All right, once we get a melody, we'll just copy that over, and then we'll add a bass line. Then we'll add a top melody. Nothing super complicated at all. Then I'll add like this little accent right here. So for this sound in this sample, I barely have any effects. I just have the baby audio magic switch and an EQ to cut out the lows. The second sound is the coming into preset. I have this one turned all the way down in the mix so you can hardly even hear it. I took the notes that I knew would work from the main melody just to make this one. For effects, I added a ton of reverb and an EQ cutting out some of the highs and the lows just to kind of tuck it in the mix. I also panned it a little bit to the right. The third sound is the harsh preset, which I used to add a little energy in the second half of the sample. I added EQ to take out some of the highs and the lows to kind of tuck it in the mix a little bit. I added another baby audio magic switch just for chorus. I used Auburn Sounds Management on the bass ducking preset to give it that side chaining kind of sound, reverb to drown it out a little bit, and then I added Fruity Love Filter. I used the single triangle low pass LFO preset, and I turned the mix knob down because I didn't want the effect to be too strong. Then I did another EQ to chop off some of the highs. Next, I used the Super String preset at the end as a transition. I drowned it in reverb just to kind of give it that synthwave kind of sound. I added some delay, I EQ'd the highs, and added some Soundtoys Panman to move it from left to right. The next sound I added was the horn preset. I used it more like a respace. I followed the bass notes of the main melody and added a few notes for style. Notice how I added these slight pauses to add a little bit more rhythm to the sample and make it less predictable. For effects, I added sausage fattener and some EQ to boost the sub frequencies. Next was the Mike Dean-esque synth chords. I just used the chords from the main melody and added a few more notes that I knew would work just to make the sound wider and more dynamic. For effects, I added Decapitator for some saturation, Sausage Fattener to beef up the sound, Fruity Flangus, and then Wider to make them sound large and bright. I also did this pitch bend automation to make them sound like they were bending a little. Make sure your range is on 12, turn the knob all the way to the left, that represents 12 semitones down. Copy and paste that value at the beginning of your automation. Then copy the value from the middle, which represents the original octave of your melody, and paste that value somewhere close to the beginning of the start of your animation. That should give you that bending sound. The next sound was this lead that was the off-brand PW preset. Again, I just picked some notes from the main melody that I thought would sound good. All I did was EQ out some of the highs. I also panned it to the left a little. I have a few instruments routed to the melody bus, and on that I have RC20, Aphex Vintage Oral Exciter, Barrier, a free saturation plugin, Soundtoys Effect Rack, the Color Cheap Tape preset, and then the Reels Disturbances preset. I'm sure I probably tweaked it a little bit. And that's pretty much the whole sample right there. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you got something out of it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure you grab the Micro pack. I go by Collier, and I'll see you in the next one.